Doing doing AMA number 2. Ask me anything. In which case this time I've got a lovely little seaside scape there with some seagulls there flapping around. Good times. But I got to do something quickly to get Instagram ready. So the concept of the AMA, why this spins up, is ask me anything. Something we stole from Reddit. Reddit came up with it originally. Reddit's like this really popular social media site. It's been around forever. But the AMA is ask me anything, which means you can literally ask anything, any questions that you have about what you're working on in a marketing capacity or what we're doing at Art Storefronts. If you're a customer and you're watching this and you're seeing this in small wins, you can leave just about any comment, question you like, and I am more than happy to answer them. And as I've been kind of shipping these things, as it were, and apologize my multitasking here, I forgot to do something for Instagram. As I've been shipping these things, I sort of realized that the way that it works is Facebook kind of takes its time to spin up. YouTube takes its time to spin up. It takes some time for followers to get on and get noticed. So you kind of need something to talk about in the meantime, in the dead air time, if you like. So I've kind of been playing around with some topics to talk about. So the idea is like, all right, while people are coming up with questions and contemplating questions, have something to rant on for a few minutes. And with that in place, something to rant on, you keep the show moving. And one, I want to say that whoever's watching this that is contemplating Art Storefronts, today is the last day of the month. There's a huge sale going on, and we have a group demo running in a few minutes. You can ignore this, obviously, if you're a customer, but what is the group demo? At the end of the month, we always run out of capacity to be able to get everybody involved in a demo. So what we usually do is we do a group demo, and it's a Zoom session that anyone can jump on for any reason. So there you go. What's up, Rita? Welcome aboard. I saw you ship the live art show too, which makes me very happy. I love that you did that. It's hard. It's the hard thing about hard things, right? And by the way, a little trick for Instagram when you're going live on Instagram. Sometimes when you go live, it will, and if you have like any decent following at all, it will lag for a little bit and you won't have anyone watching. And sometimes it gets hung up, like things get bogged down in the Instagram ecosystem a little bit. So anytime it's doing that, just end the one that you did, delete it, and go right into the next one. It's so simple to do. It just takes 2 seconds. End it, go right into the next one, and don't worry. So what it'll do is it'll hang up and it says, we're telling your followers that you started a live video. So if you see that it's not doing anything and it's lagging, just kill it instantaneously, start it again, get going again, and that's what you do. So how you doing, Instagram? Welcome aboard. Somebody's asking, yeah, AEA Gallery. I'd love to bring you into a session, but I'm also streaming on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter and everything else. And so it would just be you and I having a conversation in here, and then no one would be able to hear it on Facebook or YouTube. So it'd be too weird. But look, I promise you. No, you can't see it. So there it is, streaming on Facebook. So I can't do the requests to join. Otherwise I would, but at least acknowledging it. So the point of the sessions in AMA, you can ask me anything, but I'm happy to do one later. So ask me later, AEA Gallery. So the point of the session is it's an AMA. You can ask me anything. You leave a comment on Instagram, I'll pin it, I'll answer. You leave a comment on Facebook, and I'll answer. I think wrote the chat right into this. I'm sort of playing around with a new streaming software that we have, which is kind of fun over here. But one of the things that I was ranting about earlier, and if it's somewhat redundant because you heard earlier, my apologies, but been banging the drum pretty consistently on the live art shows and how important the live art shows are, right? And you're not going to be able to escape me, okay? If you are in our ecosystem, and you are in our ecosystem in any capacity at all, if I've got you on the email list, if I emailed you too much and you're sick of it and you unsubscribed, I still have you in my warm audiences, okay? If you're checking out anything in the Facebook ecosystem or anything in our YouTube ecosystem or anything in our Twitter ecosystem or anything in our Instagram ecosystem, I'm going to get you. I'll get you with Google ads, okay? You're going to hear me continually banging the drum. Boom, 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 live art shows. And I genuinely don't think I'm gonna be able to stop, okay? I don't think I'm gonna be able to stop because how hard it is to get people to run them and how long it's gonna take. I love this. So AEA Gallery is just saying that they ran one this weekend and only sold one. Should you go live again? Yes, you should go live 1,000 times. And if you're a customer, AEA Gallery, you got to post that you did that in small wins because we're having a huge contest right now. And to enter, all you had to do is run a live art show. So AEA, where did you go live on? Just out of curiosity. You go live, and how long should the reduced prices of the pieces last? Run. Yeah, so you're asking tactical questions. So AEA Gallery is asking, after you've gone live, how long should be till you go live again? And how long should the reduced prices of the pieces run? This is the beautiful thing. No one knows, right? It's sort of like, you know what it's sort of like? It's sort of like all of us have just discovered cooking for the first time in our lives, right? And pursuant to that, all we're doing is you're learning like the knife work, right? We're all learning how to use a knife, and we're all learning how to saute whatever vegetable we're working on, and we all learned what to do with meat and the fact that it takes seasoning. Other than that, Andrea, um, there's no rules. It is so brand new. There's no rules. Run a flash sale today, run a long sale tomorrow, have one piece in the show today, have 50 pieces in the show tomorrow. You can mix and match and mix it up. And that's one of the beautiful things early on. Early on, everybody's job is just to ship a bunch of them. Yep. See, you learned a lot. Okay. And you posted it too, which means you're entered to win. And Rita, I saw you posted yours too. It just makes me happy. It just really, really makes me happy. And maybe some of you guys saw it, but some of you didn't. And Andrea, this is what you'll see and end up learning is like, one, check my website, okay? www.ieatmyown.dogfood.com. Okay. This is my second time live today. I'm live on 5 different services at once. The one earlier went for 45 minutes. This one will go 30 to 45 minutes. So I'm not telling you to do anything I'm not doing myself. Okay. 100%. That's number one. Number two, everything that we do, okay, everything that we do in the online world, the best thing to do as you think through what is the most effective way to do it. What am I doing here? How am I going to sell art on my website? What should the language be? How should I think about how my website operates, and how should I think about how my marketing operates? Take yourself back to what works in reality, person to person. There's always an analogy that stacks up, a real world analogy that stacks up with our digital marketing. And a real world analogy for how to think about these live art show experiences. Okay. And Andrea, this is for you. Myself, art storefronts, Rita here, we all essentially just have businesses that are inside the mall. Okay. And when you go to the mall, there's people in there for all sorts of reasons. Some people are going to go meet their mother-in-law for an iced tea at the food court. Okay. Some people are going to return a pair of shoes. Some people are going to go and get a suit for a wedding, whatever it might be. And serendipitously, if you have your store in the mall open when these other people are going into the mall, guess what? They might just pop into your store. And if they pop into your store, they might just buy something. And the reason that they bought something was that you were in your store and the doors were open when they serendipitously were walking by, right? And that's sort of how it works. Like, we are all, as a result of our social accounts, we all have a store in the mall. Okay. That store is just Instagram, or it's just Facebook, or just collectively it's the social networks or the interwebs or whatever you want to call it. And every time that we're going live, okay, I love that you did both at the same time. So every time that you're going live, you're just opening the store up, right? You're opening the store up and you're saying, hey, come on in. Come on in. Have a chat. I'm here to have a chat. And you realize that, like, okay, if I was in the mall, how well my business did would probably be how many hours a day my store is open, right? Now, again, it's not that extreme. I'm not suggesting that you quit painting and you sit live for 8 hours a day. All I'm saying is all of the incentives line up for you guys to do this more and more and more and more, right? You will see the ROI. I mean, first and foremost, all of us have to get better at it. There are a lot of moving pieces to it. Like, How do you title the show? How do you promote the show? What are the best price points to run with? What are the best sizes to run with? Does the show need to be themed? How do you handle negotiation? How do you handle scarcity? Is it a flash sale for 24 hours? Right? What's the best way to drive traffic? When do the majority of the sales happen? Like all of these various different things. And the beautiful thing here is there ain't a damn person in the world that can tell you what's the best way to do it. There are some rough guidelines that we figured out because we've run a bunch of them. But guess what? We haven't run enough of them to have statistical significance. I can tell you that right now. And no one has. Okay. There's no one that's run more of them in the art or photography worlds than us. Not that I'm aware of anyway. Not on as many different not as many different accounts, certainly. And we're still learning every single solitary time. Everyone's own little quirks and personalities and weird things that go into it that kind of change the dynamic a little bit. We're learning. So it's just absolutely fantastic. And you run one, you had decent results, you had crappy results, you fell flat on your face, your internet connection fell out. Doesn't matter. Got to run more and more and more and more because it's the future. It is the highest leveraged marketing tactic I have seen for an average everyday artist photographer that exists, period. And again, you don't have to take my word for it. See what I do, see what we do. Why are we live right now on 5 social sites? Why were we live earlier on 5 social sites? Why will we be tomorrow and the day after and the day after and the day after? Because it's insanely effective. It's insanely effective 1,000 ways to Sunday. So if you're just tuning in from whatever you just popped in, you're like, what are they talking about? It's an AMA, so technically you can ask any question you like. You can ask any question about what we art storefronts do, anything about a marketing question, a pricing question, a niche selection question. Does not matter to us. Whatever you want to ask is all good. All you have to do is type a question. So you can type a question on IG, like Andrea just read, or you can type a question on Facebook, and I will get to them in due course. If you're somebody that's like, hey, art storefronts, what do you guys do? I'm trying to figure it out. We do have a demo going on in 15 minutes. No, 15 past the hour. So whatever 15 past the hour, 10 minutes is for you. Less than that. There is a link in this thing, a Zoom link that you can join. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter, you'll see it. On Instagram, it's the top link in the bio in the link tree if you want to join that. So if you want to find out more about us. Okay, Andrea is saying, here's something I learned. I don't pay attention when someone is going live in advance. I watch these live shows when I'm open my media and see that someone is going live in that moment, and I tune in. So that's one thing you'll learn, Andrea. The other thing that you'll learn is a lot of people watch them after. A whole lot of people watch them after. And I shouldn't be giving away all the secrets. I really shouldn't. But you know what? I do, because I don't care, because I don't ever stick to anybody. What happens before the show is as important as the show itself. What happens after the show is as important as the show itself. The whole thing collectively. You've been through the playbook, so you probably heard me say that. But I can just tell you right now, the most successful shows we've seen all have pretty healthy pre-sale activity, meaning before the show's even gone on, the sales are hopping. The sales are hopping because the incentives are aligned and people know that a deal is coming and they don't want to wait. And there is the FOMO rather, right? So that's a critical component to it. But again, Andrea, we all have to ship them and we all have to learn what's best for our audience. This is classic here. Andy's like, what type of content do you find most effective for marketing artists? Live art shows, full stop, or live video, full stop. Andy, it's not even close, but that doesn't mean you don't have to do all of it. The thing that I find, if you're asking me a blanket statement, what's the thing that's most effective, Andy? Putting in the work week in, week out consistently, 52 weeks a year. No one ever does that. Ever does that. So that's the most effective thing. The next most effective thing is capturing emails, emailing the emails, posting regularly on the socials, having live art shows, having sales. That's it in a minute or less, or 30 seconds or less. But if I had to do one thing, yeah, I would say live art shows, straight up. It's the most effective single solitary thing. Yes, MC Wood, you can go up or down at any point in time whenever you feel like it, whenever you like. So there's that. We even have this really cool option. Not that many people use it, but it's a nice thing to know. Like, if for any reason you ever have any financial issues whatsoever and you need to put it on hibernation, right? Like, say that you got to go care for, a family member that's not doing well and you just can't devote any time to it. You can even put the thing on hibernation, and we do that too. So there's all kinds of cool plans. Big, but Nick, what do you design? If you haven't seen a demo, you can go. There's a link. There's a link in our Facebook bio right now, and you can click it, or on the Facebook post you're watching on Facebook. You can click it and go in and see a live demo. Yeah. Yeah, thanks, Andrea. I kind of dig it too, right? And what's so funny, Andrea saying that a fan of the AMA concept, like, you know, the reality is that he or she, okay, who is closest to their customer wins. You win, right? And unless you're having like regular conversations, regular in-person close conversations, it is so easy to think you're doing the right things and think you're giving your customers what they actually want, and you think you understand their pain points, and boy, you're just creating in a vacuum. If you don't have those inputs coming into your own system, then you're out there off-roading in the wilderness and you're not even sure if you're on the path, right? So when you do talk to your customers a bunch and you do get the feedback, that's where the insights come. Like, Andrea, I really love that series that you did back in the day. Are you ever going to do that again? And you're like, wait a minute, which series is that? Then you go back and look at it, and for whatever reason you start showing it to a few other people, and all of a sudden everyone's like, oh my god, that's awesome, when are you going to do that, right? And then all of a sudden you're like, light bulb moment. Never would have happened if you were just creating a vacuum doing what you wanted, right? The only way that it happens is if you have that conversation, if you're close to your customers. And it's like, that's one of the incredible things of this live video, right? Like, and not only that, talk about ROI, and it's the same for you guys. You can talk to current customers, you can talk to potential customers, you can talk to people that just came into your ecosystem today. You can make yourself available and be awesome and all of that capacity. And it's just like, hey, that is just profound, right? There's so many reasons why the live art show, the live broadcast is so insanely effective. And I got this whole list that I usually go through, but I don't want to go through it right now because my voice is starting to hurt me a little bit after today. Actually, just to prove I got throat issues, anyone that has a bag of the Ricolas on their desk, so for whatever reason, I've got a sore throat today. Too much talking this week. But yeah, that's what I would say. Nothing more effective. And look, 31 days till Q4. And Andrea, you know what I could tell you? You're going to have a couple art shows under your belt. And so when I tell you to run 15 of them during Q4, you're not going to blink. You're going to be like, okay, I get it. We're going to start in on some on October. Once you start running enough of the live art shows, once you get comfortable enough, especially doing it instantaneously with Instagram, like boom, then the next thing you know, you're like, okay, I can be on video. Okay, it's really, really easy to do. Okay, I can actually do it with my phone. Okay, I am actually just as competent as my, teenage daughter who's on TikTok all day long. I can actually do the same thing, except instead of making weird dancing videos or whatever it is that they do these days, I am going to tease. My upcoming thing with a live video, right? Because you've run a live art show and you've run enough of these things. Now all of a sudden you're comfortable enough to turn the camera on and tease the fact that you're about to do something. So before you were going to just do video for your live art show. Now you're running a little bit of live video just to tease the fact that you're running a live art show. And then you realize, wait a minute. It's just like sending another email. A live broadcast is just like sending another email. It's just another marketing message. It can be anything, right? And again, having run hundreds of these things, and by which I mean hundreds, I mean, it's not even hundreds. I've run thousands of these, okay? Thousands. If I would have had the heart rate monitor, and I'm like the pro one, the one that like those crazy runners wear that like goes like along their chest. If I would have had that heart rate monitor hooked up early on, by which I mean like really, really early on when I was running them, I'm sure my heart would have been like boom, 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 boom. And then what's happened since? I have had every single solitary technological calamity befall me that could possibly exist. Okay. Phone calls coming in on the cell phone, destroying the stream, internet connection going out, kids busting into the room, dog mauling somebody at the front door, power going out in the house, things falling off tripods. Like, I've had it all. Okay. I have had it all. And now, not any of that even phases you in the slightest. Like, you get so battle hardened after doing it And you just get really, really comfortable. And you're just like, yeah, it's all good. It's all good. I can do it. I'm not going to let any of this bother me. I'm just going to execute and do my thing, and ain't nothing going to slow me down, and game on. And that's just how it goes. So pretty awesome thing. Pretty awesome thing. So for those just joining, one, it's an AMA. You can ask whatever question you like. That's number one. Number two, we are running a live demo now. If you wanted to test drive the software and see what it's all about, if you're on Instagram, there's a link in the bio. If you're on Facebook or YouTube, there's a link in the post. You can click that thing and jump right in there. Okay, so Andy's asking me, Steven's asking me, I don't really understand this. How many times do you exercise? What are you asking, Steve? How many times I exercise, or how many times I don't know. I don't know what you're asking. I don't get that completely. Are you asking like my actual fitness or no? Okay, Andy's asking, if you're creating a large art commission, would you live stream its creation? Yes, I would. Yes, 100% I would. And people go pretty nuts on that, right? Not necessarily if you want to not show the piece until it's done, right? But otherwise, you would totally want to do it. And Wesley, what's up, dude? I can't bring you into this thing because I'm also broadcasting everywhere else. And if I brought you in, then it would just be you and I having a conversation on Instagram, and no one on Facebook would hear it. They really got to figure out a way to make it so all of them are like, working on one audio source. I sort of had it going on early on, but you're like hacking and breaking like the terms of service of Instagram by doing it. And let me tell you, never a good idea to do that. Our Instagram account is actually currently in the jail, got the ban hammer. So we're on our backup one right now. Believe it or not, that's like I said, I've had everything imaginable happening in this particular live streaming game. So that's how it goes. But yeah, keep going with the questions, guys. Love it. Okay, good. I love this. I'm gonna just put the chat in here and see if it'll do it. Does it show? No, I think the next comment or question will actually go in there, and I can make myself a little bit bigger so I don't look so small. All right, so Jamie's saying, I just joined yesterday. Welcome aboard, Jamie. I won't be able to get reading and signing up on everything until this weekend. Is that okay, or should I panic and read everything in one night? No, you can get going on it on the weekend. You still have some time. You got 31 days, Jamie, until Q4 starts. So you signed up at a very, very, very good time. And that's not a sales pitch because you already signed up. Like this is literally the best time of year to get started, because you have essentially 1 month to get that site up, to start working on your marketing, and to get ready for what is traditionally the biggest art selling time of the year, which is Q4. And the best thing about it is, like, this business fundamentally year in, year out is normal marketing, sale, normal marketing, sale, normal marketing, sale, rinse and repeat, right? And so all of you guys suck at running sales because you've never run sales before. That's okay. That's part of the process. So you just have to learn how to do that. And guess what? You're going to be running them for the rest of your life as an artist or a photographer that is selling direct, okay, that doesn't like doing 50-50 splits with galleries, that likes keeping all the information on their potential purchasers so they can market to them in perpetuity. So yeah, you're going to be doing that for a while. So don't stress, Jimmy. Very, very good timing. Yeah, what else? Good times today, guys. Good times. If anyone else has any other questions, it is technically an AMA, which means ask me anything, which you can quite literally ask whatever you like. All you have to do is hammer out a comment on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter, and I will answer them directly. And yeah, that's what we got so far. That's awesome. On Facebook, I keep trying out all these various different live streaming softwares because it's what you do. And this one just puts like the little comment feed right in the sidebar. So if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, you can actually see the comments. It'll be interesting to see if that spurs more comments. See? Boom. There you go. So Andy's saying, I've also found you can add a bit of extra interest to your live stream by dropping in some pre-recorded video. Yeah, you totally can. You absolutely can. I mean, one of the secrets of it is the longer you're online, Andy, the more people are going to end up popping in and seeing you and interacting, right? Well, it's pretty hard to talk for hours and hours and hours, especially as a solo show. Obviously I could bring in guests and such. But the pre-recorded video really can help you out in that capacity, and that is for sure. Andrea, yeah, I use all of them. I find that Andrea is asking, do I use StreamYard, which is a piece of software? I use them all. I find that they are these various different streaming softwares and solutions. They are like all individual golf clubs in the bag that it takes to play the course of life, at least for a digital marketer. So I've got like 4 or 5 different solutions, and I like playing around with all of them and do it. Yeah. So sometimes I use StreamYard, Andrea. Sometimes I use Restream, which is another one. I'm using Restream on Facebook here now, and they all have their goods and their bads. There's not any of them destroy it. And no, sadly, so Andrea is asking, what about Instagram? And Instagram, you still have to do with the phone, which sort of sucks. But there's good things and bad things to it, right? Like, you can apparently get some hacky software, but do not do that. Okay, do not touch that. Do not poke the Instagram bear with the stick, otherwise you will get the ban hammer, and all of those followers will disappear. So you don't want to do that. So for now, you just have to do the double solution, and it has its advantages. It has its advantages. Yeah, for you, Andrea, I like StreamYard better. StreamYard's got a little bit more buttoned up UI UX, I think, than Restream does for a couple of different reasons. So that's sort of my easy use case. Yeah. So that's what I would say. Yeah, and Wesley's talking to me about being in Instagram jail. We complain to our Facebook rep, we complain to everybody, and we're at the whim, just like everyone else is. You got to be careful. They are so sensitive now to everything. You really, really have to watch it. Really have to watch it. Andy's saying happy to be part of the squad. Signed up on Thursday. Awesome. Welcome, Andy. Welcome aboard. Yeah, I mean, Andy, there's going to end up being so many different solutions to do it, to go live onto the various different networks. But practically speaking, for most people, and thank you, Andrea, have a great dinner. Practically speaking, for most people, like, you don't have a ton of followers early on. Okay, you're artists, you're photographers. I know you guys don't have a ton of followers. Okay, I've seen it. So the software really is only going to help you manage Facebook and YouTube and Twitter, yes, to a certain extent. LinkedIn, if you have it hooked up. Twitch, if you have it going. But for most people, it's really just Facebook, right? And for most people, like, the sheer volume of comments and everything else you're going to get is not going to be that heavy. You're just getting started. So whatever it takes to get live, to go on the main platform you have, that's honestly the best way to do it. Easiest way to do it, best way to do it. But for those that are joining, it's an AMA. You can leave any comment you like about anything. And yes, if you guys are customers, you can totally leave the comments too. I'm happy to help you. That's what I'm here for, on running these guys. And then, if you're like on this thing and you're like, yeah, these art storefronts guys are sort of interesting, I wanted to check it out because it's the end of the month and because we have a huge sale ending today. We're running a live demo right now. You can click any of the links on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter, or the links in the bio on Instagram, and it's a Zoom call that you can literally get on right now, and you can jump on there. Yeah, Jamie, we don't necessarily, work with LinkedIn. We don't recommend it as like a primary marketing channel because we don't really have a lot of people that are really successfully leveraging it to sell a ton of art. But in terms of streaming, you can stream to LinkedIn, which is pretty cool. You have to request permission to be able to stream to LinkedIn, and then you have to go through this approval process. But once you do, you can stream directly into it. So that's kind of nice. I think LinkedIn can be interesting. I just don't think it's the highest ROI platform for artists and photographers to be marketing on. At least I haven't seen any examples of it. I'm sure there's an artist or a photographer out there that does quite well leveraging LinkedIn, Jamie, but I don't know of any. So I would prefer you spend the energy where the platforms are more visual in nature and, a little bit more effective, let's just say, at art and photography marketing. So that's what I would say. But yeah, after you've got Facebook and Instagram humming, can you then take a look on LinkedIn? Yeah, I mean, think like concentric circles. Like the first little rock you drop in the pond, like you want to do the inner concentric circles. And this is obviously everything that we teach. LinkedIn's way out there. So that's what I would say. But you know, if you've got a ton of people on LinkedIn and you're one of these people that have posted a ton on LinkedIn, it can be like a really advantageous platform for you. So that's what I would say. Yeah, yeah, good times. What's up, Daniel's artwork? I know you. It's really interesting to see, you know, our Instagram account is currently in Instagram jail, and so we're on the backup one, and it's so funny to be able to have a backup one in the first place, and it's sort of a bummer, right? Because we had like 20,000, I think, or something like that, 22,000 on the other one, and we only have like 2,500 on this one. But people still pop on, which is really, really cool. Good to have backups. But I think any final comments, guys, let me know. Otherwise, my throat is really starting to annoy me. You can probably hear it, a little scratchy. But I'll be doing more and more of these as time goes on. I'm really enjoying them, and you know, the idea is to bring on some other folks on the marketing team that can pop in and run the sessions as well, and you know, give you guys sort of like a, you know, a real time office hours that you can kind of just pop in on and ask your questions and get some clarity on the various different things you should be doing, which is kind of really a fun thing. It's a fun thing about these lives, right? Like, you know, one, I gotta see what all your questions are. Not that I don't see them all day anyway, because you know, people are just firing them in at all times anyway on the Zoom sessions. Yeah, that's a good question, Andy. How would I go about sharing them? I need to share more and more and more of them. You know, that's certainly a good thing that I need to do, Andy. Well, did you say you're a customer, Andy? If you're a customer, that we're gonna just start putting all of them on the inside. But you know what I would do is I would not watch the artists that do it, right? Like, just search best live streams period and incorporate that into your game. It's sort of like, you know, when you're in a particular business and your tendency is to want to go and see whatever the other people in your business are doing. I find that the best thing to do is go and see what other people that are not in your business are doing. Go and watch some of the gamers on Twitch that have like 2 million people on a stream, like the bigger audience in CNN, you know. I find that that's the best way to do it. But if you're a customer, we've got a ton of stuff in the vault, and you can see how some others have done it. You know, there's been some really interesting little tweaks and twerks that people have done to get great results. Um, had Irwin show you how to do a t-shirt gallery. It's great and easier for the customer. Awesome. I'm not 100% sure on that, what that means. But okay. Yeah. Yeah, and thank you, Wesley. I am due a good beer, I think, after today. Although I got to go take my kids to soccer practice, so that's not going to work out. But my kids are super young, so I don't know if soccer practice will be a hit this time. We failed at it completely and ethically last time. My kids, like, my only one kid was in it, but he would put his clothes on, his soccer stuff on, and then go run to the other side of the field and climb a tree. So that was a disaster. But we're avoiding that. Wish me luck. But all right, guys, I think I'm going to leave it there. As the very tail end, if you are on here and you want to jump on a demo, today is the last day. We're having a huge sale. You can do it. There's a link in the bio. It's literally going on right now. You could get in there. It's a free Zoom call. Ask whatever questions you want. See the software. Get the test drive, which is kind of fun. So that's wherever you see this post. It's in the description. You can find it, or it's in the link tree. But thank you guys for tuning in. That was fun.